Hello folks, Simon Kemp from Kepios here, bringing you 10 essential takeaways from our new Digital 2023 April Global Statshot Report. As always, you can read our full report and analysis completely for free over on DataReportal.com, but this video will guide you through the top headlines and highlights in this latest update in our ongoing Global Digital Report series. Starting in reverse order at number 10, recent data suggests that millions of investors left cryptocurrency markets in the second half of 2022. The latest research from GWY indicates that the number of working age internet users who own at least one form of crypto fell from a high of 12.3% in Q2 last year to just 10% by the end of the year. Important changes to GWY's survey methodology may have played a role in shaping these figures, but even then it seems clear that many people were spooked when key currencies lost more than 2/3 of their value last year. But with the value of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin climbing by more than 70% between the start of January and the start of April 2023, we'll keep a close eye on these trends to see if ownership figures also start to rebound in the coming months. Next up, Snapchat has been growing steadily over recent months. In February, the company announced that it had reached 750 million monthly active users, suggesting that the platform's total user base has grown by more than 25% over the past year. Meanwhile, the latest figures published in the company's own ad tools indicate that advertisers can now reach more than 650 million users with ads on Snapchat each month. That ad reach figure is 11% higher than the audience figure that the platform reported this time last year, continuing the steady growth in Snapchat reach that we've been tracking in our global digital reports. Now, Snapchat has particularly good reach across countries in the Middle East, but the company's data also suggests that Snapchat ads now reach 1 in 3 adults across the US and in the UK too. In at number 8, new analysis from Ookla shows that internet connections are getting faster. The company's speed test data shows that cellular data speeds have jumped by 1/3 over the past year, with the worldwide median reaching almost 40 megabits per second in February 2023. Now, 5G networks have played a big role in fueling these increases, and data shows that users in 9 countries around the world now enjoy median mobile data speeds in excess of 100 megabits per second. But fixed connections have been accelerating too, with Ookla's data showing an average annual increase of almost 29%. And at a worldwide level, users going online via fixed internet connections enjoy a median download speed of more than 78 megabits per second, which should be fast enough to stream 5 separate 4K movies over the same connection at the same time. Story number 7 this quarter is that social media ad spend has declined. Analysis from Sky.io shows that the world's advertisers spent 3% less on social media ads in the first 3 months of 2023 compared with the same period last year, suggesting that the economic outlook may be weighing on budgets. However, in better news for marketers, the cost of social media impressions has fallen more quickly than ad spend, and as a result, average social media CPMs are now almost 30% lower than they were this time last year. So, despite that overall decline in spend, advertisers still managed to deliver 35% more social media ad impressions in the first quarter of 2023 than they did during the first 3 months of last year. And staying with social media, our next headline is that Instagram has overtaken Twitter when it comes to web traffic referrals. Data from StatCounter shows that Facebook remains the primary driver of traffic from social platforms to third-party websites, with Meta's largest platform accounting for more than 2/3 of social media referrals. However, Instagram now ranks second behind Facebook, with its 11.04% share of referrals putting it ahead of Twitter's 10.35%. And marketers may also be interested to learn that Pinterest ranks 4th when it comes to social media referrals, accounting for just over 6% of the global total, while YouTube rounds out the top 5 with 3.89% share. Now, just before we head into the top 5, I'd like to say a big thank you to We Are Social for sponsoring this video. We Are Social is a socially led creative agency with 1,200 people in 17 offices across 4 continents. They're a strategic and creative partner to brands like Adidas, Samsung, Netflix, and Google, and they deliver a truly global perspective at a time when social media is increasingly shaping culture. To learn how they can help you too, head over to wearesocial.com. Now, in addition to our usual data points in this quarter's report, we've also got a special section on the use of digital in the workplace, produced in partnership with GWI. And some of the top findings in this section include the fact that video calls look set to remain a regular part of our working lives, that email use is still near universal in the workplace, and social media use is becoming more common in the office, but its use still varies considerably by age. And as the most widely used social platform for B2B brand research, YouTube may be the most important social media channel for B2B marketers. And that's just a teaser of what you'll find in that section though, so be sure to dive into our full April report to get the complete picture. Story number 4 this quarter is that just over half of companies use social media for marketing. GWI reports that 58% of companies around the world use social media to share marketing messages today, but that same figure means that 42% of companies do not currently engage in social media marketing, a finding which I confess surprised me. Amongst those companies that have embraced social to reach and engage audiences, Facebook remains the top choice, but data suggests that barely 1 in 5 companies currently use Meta's largest platform for marketing. Instagram ranks second with 18.2%, but another big surprise for me here relates to YouTube. Despite reaching more than 2.5 billion users each month, just 13.5% of companies appear to be using the platform for marketing. And similarly, despite attracting more than 1 billion active users every month, less than 4% of companies currently use TikTok for marketing. In at number 3 this quarter, more great research from GWI reveals that older generations are actually more likely to use the internet for brand research than younger generations are. The company's data reveals that almost 54% of internet users aged 55 to 64 say that they typically research products and services online before buying them, compared with just 46.6% of users aged 16 to 24. Brand research also ranks higher amongst older generations' reasons for going online. GWI's data shows that researching brands and products ranks 5th amongst the internet motivations of users aged 55 to 64, but these activities don't even rank amongst the top 10 motivations for users aged 16 to 24. And even more surprisingly, this pattern is evident in social media motivations too, with people aged 55 to 64 saying that finding products to buy is one of the main reasons why they visit social platforms. So, don't let those stereotypes fool you, because digital marketing is just as relevant for older generations as it is for Gen Z. Now, our second top story this quarter is that the amount of time that the world spends online continues to decline. This is a story that we've been tracking for a few quarters now, but GWI's latest research reveals that our shift towards a more discerning use of connected tech has resulted in yet another dip in daily use. The latest data suggests that the typical internet user now spends 6 hours and 35 minutes online each day, which is 18 minutes per day less than the figure that we reported this time last year. Now, once again, changes to GWI's methodology may have contributed to this recent decline, but the underlying trend clearly shows that people are continuing to be more selective in their use of the internet. But our top digital story in April 2023 is that more than half of India's population is now online. A recent report from Nielsen shows that India is now home to 720 million internet users, which equates to 50.5% of the country's total inhabitants. India's internet users are still growing rapidly too, with Nielsen's research pointing to year-on-year growth of more than 15%. Meanwhile, the same report also states that rural areas now account for the greatest share of India's internet user base, although overall penetration is still lower in these areas compared with the country's towns and cities. However, despite the encouraging growth, India is still home to the world's largest unconnected population, and more than 700 million people across the country remain offline today. Now that's all for this quarter's Top 10 Takeaways video, but don't forget that you can dig deeper into all of these stories and loads more of our latest insights over on DataReportal.com. If you've got any questions about the content that I've covered today and what these numbers might mean for you, just pop those in the comments or contact me on LinkedIn or Twitter, where you'll find me as Eskimon. Many thanks, as always, to We Are Social and to Meltwater for making these global digital reports possible, and also to our wonderful data partners for allowing us to share their valuable insights. And thanks to you for joining me today too. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you again for our next round of insights.